All right, let's talk about aluminum. You know, it's the lightweight champion of the material world. It's literally everywhere, from the airplanes flying overhead to the very device you're probably watching this on. It's strong, it's light, it's incredibly versatile. But this wonder material has a hidden and, frankly, a deeply frustrating secret. A paradox that has been a headache for engineers for decades. So, what is it?
Well, here it is. This is the central mystery we're going to solve today. How can the absolute strongest aluminum alloys, I'm talking about the stuff we literally trust with our lives in aircraft structures, be so ridiculously difficult to weld? So much so that for a lot of jobs, you're just not allowed to. What in the world is going on here?
To get to the bottom of this, we really need to put on our detective hats. And our investigation? It starts by getting to know the different series of aluminum alloys. You should think of them as distinct families, okay? Each one with its own personality, its own strengths, and of course, its own secrets.
Now, this numbering system you see here, it isn't just a bunch of random numbers. Nope, it's a code. Each starting number, from the 1000s all the way up to the 8000s, tells you the main ingredient that's been mixed with the aluminum. And this right here is our first major clue to understanding why each of these families behaves so differently.
So, in the entire world of aluminum, there is one fundamental split that changes everything. On one side, you have your non-heat treatable alloys. These guys get stronger the old-fashioned way, by being physically worked, bent, or rolled. On the other side, you've got the heat-treatable alloys. Now, these are the high performers. They get their incredible strength through a special heat treatment, kind of like baking a cake where these tiny super hard particles form inside the metal. This division is absolutely crucial because our main suspect, the 7XX series, is planted firmly in that heat-treatable camp.
Okay, so we've met the families and we've split them into two main groups. Now let's zoom in. Let's look at the specific secret ingredients that give these alloys their superpowers and, as it turns out, their fatal flaws. It's time to check out our next set of clues.
Let's meet our key players. First up, you've got magnesium. Think of it as the reliable workhorse. When it's the main ingredient, like in the 5XX series, you get alloys that are tough, easy to form, and, most importantly, an absolute dream to weld. Then there's zinc, the strength booster, totally essential for the powerful 7XX series. But the real drama starts when you add our third element, copper. Copper is the superstar. It's what pushes these alloys into the stratosphere of strength, making them perfect for aerospace. But, as we're about to find out, superstars can be very temperamental.
And this right here, this is the smoking gun. I mean, this single sentence tells us pretty much everything we need to know. High-strength 7XX alloys are totally weldable until you add copper. So the investigation is now pointing a giant, flashing arrow directly at copper as our prime suspect. So what is it that copper actually does to the metal?
Well, to find that out, we have to go to the scene of the crime, the weld pool. This is that tiny little area where the metal is melted and then cools down to form the joint. And it's right here, in this tiny zone of insane heat and super fast cooling, that everything goes completely wrong for our high-strength alloys.
The crime itself actually has a name, solidification cracking, and it's pretty simple when you break it down. As that molten weld pool cools, it shrinks. This shrinkage creates stress, kind of like pulling on a rope from both ends. Now, if the metal that's trying to become solid isn't strong enough yet to handle that pulling force, it literally just tears itself apart, and that's how you get a crack.
So the most important point here is this. The problem isn't that the metal is freezing, the problem is how it's freezing. And honestly, the best way to get this is to think about the difference between a solid block of ice and a half-frozen slushy, right? One is strong and solid, the other is weak and mushy. Well, this slushy state is the root of all our problems.
And this chart, this right here, is the aha moment. Just look at the bar for the 5000 series, our welding hero. It has a super narrow slushy range. It freezes fast and clean, like turning water into ice. Now, look at the 7000 series with copper. Whoa, its solidification range is massive. This means it stays in that weak, vulnerable, slushy state for a much, much longer time as it cools, which makes it incredibly easy to tear apart.
Okay, we have all the pieces of the puzzle now. We've identified the alloys, we've found our suspect element, and we've examined the science at the crime scene. Now, it is time to deliver the verdict.
Here's exactly how it all goes down, step by step. The welding torch moves away, and the weld pool starts to cool and shrink. That creates that pulling stress we talked about. Now, because of the copper, a wide, weak, slushy zone forms between the bits of metal that have already turned solid. That shrinkage stress, it has no problem tearing this mushy structure apart, and boom, a crack appears right in the very last part of the metal to freeze.
So let's put our two main players side by side one last time. The 5XX workhorse freezes fast and strong. It has a tiny slushy range, so by the time those shrinkage stresses really build up, the metal is already solid enough to handle it. The result? Great weldability. But the 7XX Superstar, all thanks to that copper, stays weak and slushy for way too long. It just can't fight back against the shrinkage, so it rips itself apart. The result? Poor weldability. Case closed.
So we've solved the specific case of the 7XX series. But what's the bigger lesson here? Well, there's a fundamental principle. You could even call it a master formula that governs not just aluminum, but pretty much all of materials science. Understanding this is the ultimate takeaway.
And here it is. The master formula is composition determines property, which then determines process. In plain English, what you put in the recipe, the composition, dictates the final characteristics, like strength or toughness, the property. And those characteristics dictate how you can actually build things with it, like whether you can weld it or if you have to use rivets instead. That's the process.
So let's apply this formula directly to our mystery. You change the recipe by adding copper, that's your composition. This gives you the amazing characteristic of extreme strength, that's your property. But that property comes with a huge trade-off. It creates that wide solidification range, which makes it basically unweldable, and that's the limitation on your process. You see, it's an unbreakable chain of cause and effect. So all of this brings us to our final thought. We've cracked the code of aluminum's weldability paradox. We get the trade-offs. The massive question for the future is this. Can we break that chain? Can we design a new material that gives us the best of both worlds? All the strength you need for aerospace, but with simple, robust weldability. Well, that is the billion-dollar question that engineers are working on as we speak. Thanks for joining this explainer.